For the next stage we go from Australia to Finland, makes a change from New Zealand to Finland I suppose, and the StV circuit. For anyone wanting to know what the acronym stands for, it's either Start the Virago or Scottish Television. It's a bizarre circuit with a very fast first sector followed immediately by a very fiddly second sector, and then a deceptively frustrating final sector. To understand just how frustrating, this is the straight between turns 11 and 12.
Open, over crest.
Let's have a look at the rest of the lap. Just coming out of the final corner onto the start-finish straight, but not before going over what is effectively a miniature ramp, compromising the start of the lap. It's a long straight though, so you can still build up the speed pretty quickly. Here's turn 1, taken at a steady 200 km an hour, and coming up into turn 2, which is slightly tighter but still a very quick corner. But this is where the difficult stuff begins. Turn 3 is a very tricky left-hand hairpin with unpredictable gradients. If you're going there too quickly on the entry, you're slamming into the grass verge. But on this occasion it went quite well, unlike the exit of turn 4, which, as you can see there, running wide onto the muddy stuff. A short straight with a big jump halfway through before turn 5, and a slightly more open right-hand hairpin before a series of 90-degree corners. Here is the first of them. That was a left with a big jump thrown in for good measure, and into a right which doesn't contain as aggressive a gradient there. A left followed by a 180-degree right-hand hairpin, and that spells the end of the second sector. Now into the final, and as I said before, deceptively frustrating final sector, which starts off with a 270-degree left-hand corner, which opens up a little bit on the exit. And this is the jump that caused problems in warm-up. And you can see there the Ford Focus still wanting to flip. Very strange behaviour from the number 7. A right follows before another steep gradient, the driver choosing to brake before the jump because if he went full throttle, basically slamming headfirst into the gravel road. Going over the final corner and finishing the lap. So all that hard work resulted in a 1 minute 30.49 second lap, and the record is a 1 minute 29.17, so I was 1.32 seconds off the record there. Looking at the sector times first of all, 40 seconds of my 90-second lap is spent in sector 2 alone. Just going through the first of the corners of sector 2, which was one of the very few occasions I actually got right, and then I followed it up by making a mess of this next corner here. There's a nice onboard perspective of me running wide and losing momentum onto the straight. 40 seconds? That means 44.4% of the lap is spent in sector 2. To borrow a phrase from the first episode, fuck me, that's a lot. That was a bit of a heavy landing at the exit of turn 6 there as well. Very fiddly second sector, but the final sector is the worst. Just going over those gradients is basically a lottery, especially with this bumpy surface of Finland. We'll just have a look at the first of the jumps because I very, very nearly flipped it. Hopefully the director stays with us. Bloody hell. So that was the StV circuit in Finland. Next up we will be in Monte Carlo, so stay tuned and see you soon.